I've worked the 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. shift at a lonely highway gas station for 2 years. You get used to the quiet, but 3 a.m. is different. It's when the world feels empty. I was stocking the cooler when I glanced at the monitor. A man was standing by the far pump. He wasn't pumping gas, he was just staring at the store. I went back to work, but 10 minutes later, I checked again. He was halfway to the entrance. He hadn't walked, he just seemed to appear closer every time I looked away. My skin crawled. By the third check, he was standing right outside the glass door, his face obscured by a hood. He didn't pull the handle, he just stood there, unmoving. I picked up the phone and shouted through the intercom that I was calling the police. The reaction was instant. He didn't run away. He pulled a long hunting knife from his jacket and lunged at the door. I didn't wait to see if the glass would hold. I bolted for the back storage room, locking the heavy steel door just as I heard the front glass shatter. I sat in the dark, clutching a heavy wrench, listening to his footsteps circling the door. When the sirens finally arrived, the noise stopped. The police found him slumped against the storage door. He hadn't been trying to kill me in his final moments. He had overdosed right there. The stalking was just a slow, drug-fueled death crawl. But the sight of that knife in the security footage still keeps me awake at night. The first thing the lead janitor told me was simple. Do not go to the third floor after midnight. I don't care if a pipe bursts. You stay down here. I laughed it off at first, thinking it was just some hazing ritual for the new guy. The building was an old insurance firm, mostly empty and smelling of floor wax and stale coffee. Around 1:30 a.m., the light on my radio base station started flickering. Then, a voice cracked through the static. It was faint, sounding like a woman crying for help.
I'm stuck in the break room,
she whispered.
The door won't open. Please, it's so cold.
I looked at the security panel. The motion sensors on the third floor were lighting up in a frantic sequence. Hallway, lobby, then the break room. I grabbed my radio, ready to run up there, but I hesitated. I checked the digital log of the employee badges that had scanned in that night. The screen was blank for the third floor. In fact, as I scrolled back, I realized that no badge had been assigned to that floor in over 5 years. The company that leased it had gone under after a tragic accident. I keyed my mic and asked for a name. The voice responded with a name that made my blood turn to ice. I looked at the old staff photo on the wall behind me. That woman had been the manager who died in that accident years ago. I spent the rest of my shift in the lobby, watching those motion sensors follow something invisible as it paced back and forth above my head. The office was dead quiet, the only light coming from my dual monitors as I raced to finish a project. It's a strange feeling being the only person in a glass skyscraper. You feel like you're in a fishbowl. I started hearing a soft thud every few minutes, like a shoe hitting carpet. I assumed it was the AC unit until I saw a reflection in the window. A door to the men's restroom about 50 feet behind me was slowly swinging shut. I didn't investigate. I have read enough stories to know better. I called 911 immediately, whispering my floor number. When the police arrived, they found a man hiding in the ceiling tiles of the restroom. He had a backpack filled with duct tape, a camera, and printouts of my social media photos. The real horror came the next day when the detective showed me the security footage from the past 2 weeks. It wasn't just the office. There was footage of him 3 feet behind me at the grocery store. There was a clip of him sitting 2 tables away at the mall while I had lunch with my sister. He had been living in the office crawl space for days, watching me work, watching me eat, waiting for the one night I stayed late enough to be truly alone. I moved states a week later, but I still check the ceiling tiles every time I enter a bathroom.